Welcome to episode 3 of Bay Area Unsolved. I'm Juliette Goodrich, and this is my producer, Stephanie John. And we'll catch you up. We've been doing episode 1 of the Pokemon Go murder of Calvin Riley. This is a story that we have really wanted to invest in, right?
Oh, yeah. It's one that I think a lot of us remember, and one that we really believe, with enough information out there, people watching, people remembering, could be solved.
Yeah, and that's what the FBI was telling us in our episode 2 when we had that full interview, and they showed us some sketches and some persons of interest and some information, and they feel like they're getting closer and closer, but they need the public's help. So the next question is, was he a target? And that's a natural question, and it's one that it's obviously hard to ask parents, but we got a real look back into Cal's life and who he was, and his mom and his sister really poured their heart out and shared the kind of person that he was. So let's take a listen.
Like, special just doesn't, I know we keep saying he was special, it just doesn't encapsulate who he was as a person. Mm-hmm. He was just, I think, too good for the world and taken too soon. He really was, and I know people say that, but he really was just, he was an angel on earth, which is crazy. He's an angel now. He just loved people, loved to bring everyone else up around him. Didn't have anything bad to say about anybody. Just wanted everyone to be happy, and just a kind, beautiful soul, and hard to lose him. Yeah.
Cal was just bright. He was kindness. He was everything good in the world. It wasn't like he was evil or like a mean brother or anything. I don't think he ever, we never fought. He was just he was more of a father figure, and he was just the best part of my childhood.
So you heard from the family. We really got his character and what he's all about. And I know, Steph, this is kind of out of your comfort zone to be on camera, but a real reason why I wanted you to participate is because you've also had conversations with some of his friends. So why don't you share that?
I have, with a former coach of his, mm-hmm. and with a high school friend who played football when Cal played baseball. And Dom Scarpino told me that there's no way that anyone would have wanted to kill Calvin Riley. He was just the kindest of guys. And it goes to support what his family is saying. And now you've heard from the FBI about what they found out about Cal.
We approached them and asked them that very question too. Was this a targeted attack? What was this? And so let's go back and listen to the FBI, their entire interview. And again, they can take any information, any tips at any time. Let's take a listen. You were telling me that this case, there are so many cases to work on, but this one kind of stood out to you personally, and why?
This case has always stood out to me personally because of the victim. Calvin was not involved in any criminal activity, was not involved in anything nefarious. A complete investigation on him indicates that he was a complete innocent victim in this. And that's always motivating. It always is something I'm passionate about, is seeking justice for the victims that can't speak for themselves.
So in your line of work, you'll take any tip, any lead, obviously, and I'm sure so many have come in, correct?
Yeah.
Even now?
Yes, especially with some of the press release that we've done in the recent weeks and months, it still generates information, and that's what we want. We want to keep both Cal's memory alive, but we also want to keep the public involved. We want any information to continue coming in.
Where are we now in terms of the narrative or the storyline that we think happened? They were walking. They'd come from a number of places prior, right? They had had dinner, they had gone to a record store, and then walked along Aquatic Park. So their steps, their footprint wasn't necessarily a planned out one, correct?
Correct. Yeah, this was kind of a a night on the town. You know, very unexpected. They were kind of just operating on a whim, you know, had done, you know, some of their favorite things, and then actually intended to go to Fisherman's Wharf. The reason they walked along the promenade in the aquatic park was actually to play Pokemon Go. So they were really just following the game.
So what does that tell you in terms of the suspects out there and why Calvin was a target, or maybe wasn't a target, a random target? Is that where we're leading to?
There is information that strongly corroborates that this was probably a random target. That being said, every homicide has a motive, whether it's one that makes sense to me and you. You know, hopefully we find that answer, but that's not always the case. It can be a very random motive, it can be a very petty motive, and we've seen that all. So there could be a variety of different motives, but I do not believe right now at this time that Calvin was targeted strictly for being Calvin Riley.
So we've heard from Calvin's family, and we've heard from the FBI, and you've shared some information from those who knew him best and the character. And now really we're putting it out to the public and asking for help.
You can call the FBI. You can go to the FBI website. And if you happen to be visiting San Francisco, you are not in this country right now, the nearest American embassy or consulate can help.
Absolutely. So we'll have the reward information, the number on the screen, and how you can share information, anything. And we're going to keep this series going because we feel passionate about it. I've been reporting in the Bay Area for close to 30 years, and there are stories that need to be told more in depth. And so I thank you for bringing it to my attention. And if there's more that you want covered or something that jogs your memory on other cases, let us know. We'll put our information also on this webpage. So thanks, and we just hope that we can make some progress. Thanks, Steph.
Thank you.